Alright, everybody. We got a brand new quartering video to watch. This guy's content never really fails to amaze. Oh my god, he's kind of falling off too. You know, I've been saying for a little while now that I feel like the peak of this era of conservative cultural dominance has kind of come and gone. And, yeah, honestly, we just looked at Geeks and Gamers' channel, and he's kind of falling off too. And even though these are, you know, he's uploading a lot, and this is a lot of viewership, he used to be getting like 1 million+ views regularly on his videos. I guess this niche is just kind of falling apart. Anyway, are you guys ready to witness some like top-tier dick riding? Basically, for those of you guys that don't know, Sam Hyde is a admittedly very funny Nazi comedian, okay? And he started his own, like, reality show recently, and I am interested in the concept of this reality show. I might give it a look on YouTube, like the clips and whatnot. And this reality show is called Fish Tank Live, right? The idea of it is, like, a bunch of people living in a house, and I don't know all the details, but there's a bunch of things thrown in there. Every room is being live streamed, and it's about, like, who can last the longest. It's like one of those who lives in the mansion longest reality show type things. Anyway, apparently Sam Hyde got banned, supposedly over that reality show, Fish Tank Live. I don't know why, but listen. Sam Hyde is inarguably a Nazi. The guy literally donated, what was it, $2,000 or $5,000 to the Stormfront legal, like the legal fund for Stormfront, the Nazi publication, when they were getting sued by a Jewish woman that they had, like rallied up a big hate brigade against for harassing and like doxing and sending death threats. She sued the Daily Stormer, and Sam Hyde donated to their GoFundMe. On top of that, there's a bunch of other like screenshots and clips of him like hanging out with like very popular neo-Nazi figures. There's one where he's like literally like standing with and doing like a photo op with a popular neo-Nazi figure who is Sieg Heiling in the photo. There's a lot of stuff like that. So he's very, very obviously a Nazi. Yeah, he's JQ'd on Hot Mic in like hidden recordings and stuff like that, like secretly recorded audio. So he is 100% a Nazi, but the entire like drama and sort of commentary edgelord sphere of the internet dick rides him like crazy. And you're about to witness some more of that, but from the quartering. Get ready to witness some like dick riding that's going to make the quartering boy preggers, okay? He is going to be with a big swollen belly after all this dick riding.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from TheQuartering. Got a bit of breaking news. Well, as soon as I can get this uploaded, you know, a payment processor, just so everyone knows, is basically the gateway between creators and merchants and getting paid. So,
oh no, he did not brush his teeth before recording this video. Do you notice the food in his teeth?
Paid. So people pay with a credit card, you need to go through processor, just so everyone knows, is basically the gateway.
Did you see it? He's got shit in his teeth.
Between creators and merchants and getting paid. So if people pay with a credit card, you need to go through a payment processor to get paid as a merchant or a content creator. There are about 3 or 4 payment processors in the world. It is a virtual monopoly, and they are all, this might shock you, extraordinarily woke and left.
The payment processors are extraordinarily woke. So for those of you guys that don't know, payment processing companies like blacklisting figures has been done before. This is not unheard of, and it's usually like the worst of the worst public figures that they blacklist, because essentially their entire functionality is allowing people to make money and spend money with their platform. You're basically talking about Twitter, except instead of posting, it's like storing your money, transferring your money, etc., right? And offering services. If a payment processor allows you to use their services, they are enabling your funding of whatever it is that you're doing, whether they realize it or not. So when a large public figure who is a known neo-Nazi is known to be using your payment processing like company to fund his shit, it is very likely that for the sake of not wanting your company associated with that, you are going to disconnect association. This is not an infringement on free speech. Is it a massive, like, fucking over of Sam Hyde's life? Yeah, it is. But, I mean, he should have tried not being a Nazi.
Leaning. It's actually one of the biggest, most important things I need to do for the Publica is integrate both crypto payments and parallel economy this month. But
I'm so glad that all these right-wingers are being pushed into using crypto in order to, like, make a living, because crypto is crashing really hard and will continue to do so, and all these people are going to lose everything they have by having to, like, make and store their money in crypto. It's so fucking amazing.
Content comedian, lightning rod, boxer, reality show host, and
Look at the shit in his
sketch
teeth.
comedy guy, Sam Hyde, has been banned by Stripe. And it looks like it's in relation to his new show, which is a huge hit, Fishbowl TV. I
don't think it's in relation to the new show. I think it's more so that, you know, he's a neo-Nazi. And, like, every time there's a mass shooting or a terror attack, people share memes of him being, like, the shooter or whatever. Like, that's like one of his biggest claims to fame. Like, I have a feeling there's a lot of reasons why his payment processor revoked his ability to use their services. I'm gonna guess it's not because he did a reality show.
Consuming the clips like crazy. They even have Airsoft Fatty on there now. It's ridiculous, and it's not the first time that this kind of stuff happens. So I want to go through what Sam was sent first, and then I'd like to call a polite call to arms from my viewers, because
a polite call to arms to do what?
You know, like spamming angry stuff at people doesn't really get things done. I saw Masterson tweet this out. He's another person, I'm pretty sure, that was banned by Stripe as well. He says traditional payment processors will never.
Oh, interesting person to cite. Dick Masterson, who says, fuck this shit. Traditional payment processors will never let us make money. Never. We'll get dicked around and blackboxed until we're dead. Late night shows and trash, and fuckless whores is our culture without the blockchain. God. I also like that Sam Hyde's at. Look at Sam Hyde's at. Interesting. I wonder what his political leanings are. All right.
Never let us make money. Never. We get screwed around and blackboxed until we're dead. Late night shows and trash is our culture without.
Why not read that? Wait, TheQuartering. Do you not agree with that sentiment? I'm sure you do agree with it. Why not read it out? Is it for your monetization? Are you scared of getting demonetized because all you care about is money, and you only do this for money? Is that why? Why not read that out? Why not properly represent your side of the argument?
The blockchain. He's 100% right. You know, Stripe probably has no problem processing payments from OnlyFans and things of this nature.
This is not true, by the way. Shit tons of payment processors and banks are notoriously discriminatory towards sex workers. As a matter of fact, there are literally shit tons of cases of people getting found out as doing sex work and having their bank shut down their card and their account. And there's like very few like banks that are actually like sex worker friendly. This is delusional, like absolutely dead fucking wrong. Sex workers are actually one of the most maligned in regards to having access to payment processors, even more so than like Nazi YouTubers. So yeah, the argument that like quote unquote fuckless whores, as TheQuartering agrees to call them, are having no problem with payment processors is not the case. Not the case. Sex worker? No, I'm a sex laborer.
So Sam Hyde posted this on Twitter, and it said help, and he tagged Stripe and various different people at Stripe support, he had received a notice that said, after conducting a further review of your account, we've determined that we won't be able to.
Oh, on top of that, by the way, there's actually a notorious clip. You know what's probably more likely to be behind this than even the Nazi shit? Sam Hyde has literally admitted to engaging in fraud and shit like that. Hold on. How Sam Hyde pays for things. So to be fair, Sam Hyde is notoriously like irony poisoned, but he seemed pretty serious about this. This is how he pays for things, or this is how he pays for his lifestyle. I stole millions from these companies, a millionaire's debt tutorial.
So we did something bad. We took a rental car through a romp in the woods. A rental car, the most precious commodity that a father has. He spends money to send a rental car to college. She goes there and gets driven by a bunch of guys. And you know what? I'm one of those guys. And I drove her for a little bit, played with her bags, slapped her around. I do this thing where I can't get off unless, well, let's not get into that. Anyway, we have a nicely abused rental car here. And now it's time for what every college girl knows.
I will say, this is the most based thing that he does. This is the well, not what he's saying now, because he's being a weirdo, but like the stealing from large companies is based. But I have a feeling that this shit is probably more likely to be why his payment processors like terminated his services than him not being woke or whatever.
The end of college spray down, going home to the family. I'm basically a D1 lineman, okay, plowing through these rental cars. And before I take them back to the daddy, I spray them down so they...
In case you couldn't already tell, his entire sense of humor is just like hyper-ironic, quote-unquote, misogyny and racism, basically. Like, he doesn't do this type of humor, but the joke is that he's saying something progressive, that's for sure. So he's extremely popular with, like, he's actually not very popular, like, outside of the internet, but within the internet, even among, like, your average, like, normie YouTubers, like, if you if you have a favorite normie YouTuber who's maybe, like, especially if their humor is a little bit edgy, they probably dick ride Sam Hyde. Like, most people are either ignorant to the fact or do not care about the fact that Sam Hyde is a neo-Nazi.
Don't stink like penis. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you now what you do after you abuse a rental car, and there's going to be no signs of foul play. Let's go ahead with the old high pressure rinse. Okay,
maybe he's just playing a heel.
Absolutely highest.
People talk about Sam Hyde like he's a fucking genius, like he plays 4D chess, but I feel like anybody but Sam Hyde and the things he's said and done, people will be like, yeah, no shit, this person's a Nazi, right? Like when the joke is literally just he's saying a thing that Nazis say, or he is like friends with and financially supporting Nazi establishments like the Daily Stormer. I don't. What's the joke?
Pressure possible.
I really hate the metaphor here. Is the car is a woman? That is the joke. Yeah, the joke is that women are property, like a car is. Yeah.
Just fuck them. Now see this seam right here? This seam, what most people don't realize, is completely watertight.
Is this the intro? I assume this is where he talks about what he does. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
I feel like there's a lot of young people who don't know how to go about, how to even start, or why it's even important to start acquiring wealth, and learning to protect wealth. And it's something that I wish I'd had been paying more attention to in my 20s, I guess.
By the way, this is the most sincere and like serious you'll ever see Sam Hyde get.
The value of the dollar going down, and the way that the way taxes work. I mean, it's just something to start paying attention to, and paying attention to to ways to start becoming more parasitic. And that sounds bad, but
I listen. Based assuming that the advice he's giving here doesn't fuck you over, right? I will say, I've heard Sam Hyde say some shit. I'm like, okay, fucking over credit card companies, all right, sounds pretty base, but like, you say there's no legal consequences for the shit you do. Maybe there's just been no legal consequences for you yet. You know, I'm not going to start following your, like, debt. Basically what he does, I believe what he said is what he'll do is he racks up shit tons of credit card debt. And then he pays a like, debt fixer, I guess. I don't know what the exact term is for it. Like, he literally just takes out a no limit credit card, or like a very high spending limit credit card, I should say, and like maxes it the fuck out, doesn't pay it off, and then hires a debt fixer, I guess, who just like sends legal requests that like to respond to, the company has to pay supposedly a certain fee to respond to every time, and legally has to respond to it every time, and eventually they get annoyed and just eliminate the debt. That doesn't sound like they're it goes 100% like that and there's no consequences. That's what he said, but I don't know. That sounds more like it's why his payment processors probably cut him off than anything to do with his Nazi stuff or his show.
Accept payments for your account moving forward. Payouts to your bank account have been paused, and we will issue refunds on affected card payments 5 days after your Stripe account is closed. If there's insufficient funds in your account to cover any of these refunds, they will not be processed, and outstanding funds will remain in your account. You can see the charges that will be refunded here, and I'm assuming it's a huge amount of them. What does this stem from? Well, I assume it's from his Fishbowl TV show, which is a reality.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with his Fishbowl show. They didn't say anything here about it having to do with his Fishbowl show. They've just said they've determined they won't be able to accept payments from your account moving forward. That's all they said.
Reality show that can be spicy at times, but certainly not a TOS breaking thing. It might be, and I'm just speculating here.
Dude, I love that the company replied on Twitter saying, "Hey Jason," I guess that's his, well, that's his like his Twitter name, so it's a meme. Anyway, "Hey Jason, we'd like to look into this for you. Mind sending us a DM?" And then this guy replies, "Yeah, you're definitely getting fired for this, bro." They like, these people dick ride Sam Hyde so hard, they'll like invent a conspiracy theory that the world is out to get him, and that anybody who like to claim that this person's gonna get fired for responding to a tweet about the service by protocol. Like, these people are literally delusional. The dick riding has their brains are getting fucked by Sam Hyde stupid.
From some voice chat, super chat type things. I don't know if you use a Stripe for that. I know the show has a season pass, and the show has a way to do TTS, text to speak tips, which is how the show makes money. Sam has a long list of people that truly hate him. You know, I don't know if there are many people out there in the world that truly know Sam, except for the people around him. But, you know, the body of evidence on the internet, other than this spurious donation that everyone points.
Spurious donation? Wait, hold on. TheQuartering, that donation was a $5,000 donation to the Daily Stormers Legal Fund when they were getting sued for defamation when they sent a harassment campaign after a Jewish woman. Are you going to go into detail about that, or are you just going to call it spurious donation?
On the internet, other than this spurious donation that everyone points to, which may have been a joke for all we know, I've never
Yeah, you know, the 5,000, you know, it's just a joke. You know, I donated $5,000 to the legal fund of the most well-known Nazi publication in the world. You know, it's just a joke. It's the $5,000 joke. It's my favorite type of joke. Also, when asked about it, he retorted with like a Nazi statement. I forget what he said, but it was like something about the Jews that he responded with when he was questioned about the donation.
Really seen anything totally heinous that would necessitate unpersoning, because that's exactly what's happening. And this isn't the first time.
By the way, they call it's a 1984 meme. These people call it unpersoning when they get banned from a platform for being a Nazi or whatever. Like when they get banned from a platform for saying the N-word, they call it unpersoning.
Stripe has done this, of course. You see Lana, who was banned. I don't know, it's actually from Red Dice TV, was banned from Stripe. Donald Trump was banned from Stripe. Laura Loomer banned from Stripe.
Based.
All the people that were at J6, if they had businesses, many of them ended up banned from.
Yeah, yes, they literally assaulted the Capitol with the intent to kill and capture like elected officials because they didn't like that Trump lost, and he encouraged them to do it. So now he's defending. Well, to be fair, TheQuartering has been defending the January 6th insurrectionists for a while. Remember, guys, these people were traitors back during the Civil War. They're still traitors now. Nothing has changed. All the patriotic fronting they do is only being weaponized to push their agenda.
From Stripe, the reason that this is such an important thing is because of the monopoly. It's just like when Patreon banned, I forget whatever their name was, but it didn't even come from Patreon. It came from MasterCard. So essentially, there is a centralized power. What would you call it? Powerhouse or
Is this video gonna end in him JQing? I really hope he JQs in this video. That would be amazing.
Almost like an oligopoly, except the oligopoly all acts in the exact same way in terms of political leanings and the economic forum stuff and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to go down that road.
What road is that? That I'm pretty sure he was alluding to the JQ there. Because that's all he has to do. He's got the Nazis in his audience. All he has to do is give a little knowing glance at the camera and reference the JQ vaguely, and the Nazis know.
The oligopoly all acts in the exact same way in terms of political leanings and the economic forum stuff and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to go down that road, but what I want to do is mobilize people to get involved and get involved in this thread and be polite and share this message, tagging Stripe. I mean, this is absurd. I've already...
Their support team's already responded. What do you mean? So is this video... This video's literally just TheQuartering desperately calling for his fans to, beg Stripe to allow Sam Hyde to continue using them as a payment processor. The level of dick riding these people do for Sam Hyde is insane. When a bad thing happens to him, it's like every YouTuber on the face of the earth comes together to protect this guy. Like no one I've ever seen before. It's crazy. Ironically enough, no, actually, there is one person I've seen them do this for, in the past. iDubbbz. He's become the new iDubbbz, except he's a bad person, while iDubbbz wasn't really that awful of a guy. He was just making cringe content. And now that, Sam Hyde is essentially in the cultural zeitgeist at play, Sam Hyde was there since before iDubbbz was, has basically taken his place, and now he gets the same level of, hardcore dick riding and immunity that iDubbbz had before.
Began that DM sitting in there right now is I know who it's from, and it's about me switching payment processors on the Publica, or at least adding a secondary option. Because Stripe can't be trusted. I don't understand, if there's anything on this show that I've seen that would indicate any kind of TOS stuff.
What? Okay, so he's just gonna pretend like it's the show? I guess he's just gonna pretend like it's the show that got him kicked from the payment processor and not the fact that he's a Nazi or his, debt methods. Okay.
Stuff. And usually what happens is the mainstream press, in this particular case, the Wall Street Journal, they celebrate this stuff. And then they say it's not enough. If you look at the headline here, Stripe bans Trump, but donations still come through. Like, ooh, he's still getting money. What else can we do? And it's articles like this.
Hey.
Now, I don't know if there were.
But that's literally just the headline. That's just factually reporting what happened. What's wrong with the headline? Why are you looking so deeply into it? Why not read the article if that's what you're going to claim it says? That it's not enough and they need to ban Trump further if that's what the article says. Why not read the part where it says that and not just, like, reading into the headline?
There was a coordinated.
Bro, how do people watch this guy? Guys, you need to understand that the vast majority of conservative content consumers are completely ignorant to the fact that that this is all incorrect. They haven't even been exposed to, like, the realization that this shit is a joke. And when they do, they look back at this kind of stuff as, like, a cringe era of their life. Think of how many people you know that look back at themselves in 2016 to 2017, that era, as being cringe. Like, oh, God, don't ask me about how I was in 2016. A whole lot of people are like that because a whole lot of people fell for this shit and fell down the cringe right-wing rabbit hole back then, and it's happening to a whole new batch of Zoomers now all again, right? I think I found the link that Zan wanted, and it led to a video that's been privated. Fuck. That's probably why it didn't come up.
Cancellation attempt for this, or if he had a Stripe account previously in the past. That I don't know. But what I do know is that this particular ban appears to be unjust, appears to be related to who people perceive Sam to be. Again,
who people perceive him to be. Because you see, he's operating on 5D chess. His $5,000 donation to the Nazi publication in their lawsuit, legal funds, was actually just a big 5-head 4D chess joke. Oh no, this is not on 1.2 times speed. I probably should have done that, because it's a quartering video. Notice how every one of his videos are, like, they're never less than 10 minutes long. They're always, like, just at 10 minutes, which is enough to get the maximum amount of mid-rolls shoved in there.
The most I know about Sam is from the Harley documentary. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, but his videos are so low energy, it doesn't matter. Something that you'll notice is, like, there's a very high barrier of, like, personality entry, like, that you have to reach to be successful on the left. Like, I'll say what you want about, like, every lefty figure that is prominent that I've had beef with. There's something about them that puts them above your average person's personality that draws people to their content. That is objectively true. There's a reason why they're successful. Even Thought Slime. This is true of Thought Slime and whatnot. So, Thought Slime's a million times more entertaining than TheQuartering is, and yet way less successful. And the reason for that is because there is a much lower barrier of entry on the right in regards to how entertaining of a person you have to be. TheQuartering's been doing this for years and can barely structure a sentence without stopping and saying or like. I'm not a perfect public speaker. I pause, I stutter, I fuck up words, I do that kind of thing all the time. But I have actually actively had to work hard to improve at speaking so that I'm not boring to listen to. I have to be entertaining to listen to. I can't just boringly, kind of mumble out the opinions that you guys all already agree with. I have to actually compellingly speak, entertainingly speak, put on a performance, and convince people. That is not what TheQuartering has to do. There is a much lower barrier of entry. The people who watch this type of content don't care who it's being given to them by. They just want their opinions shoveled back into their mouths.
For the iDubbbz documentary, he seems like a wild card, a bit of a loose cannon, but ultimately harmless. He doesn't take himself too seriously, I don't think. But again, like, why is Stripe getting involved in this? Like, are we in a point in society now where if you have the wrong opinions, you're no longer allowed to live? I mean, Stripe probably has, criminals and stuff like that use their stuff. They have people that sell their body online that use their stuff.
They have people who sell their body online who use this. I like how TheQuartering literally considers sex work to be a morally bad thing. So much so that he considers he is a Nazi, but he's not open about it. But what he is open about is the fact that he considers sex workers to be morally lower than Nazis. What an insane self-report. To be honest, Zan, it feels like your content is low energy in the calm, relaxed, everyone is welcomed sort of way. At least that's the vibe I get. I mean high energy in the sense that I'm not sitting here mumbling, right? Like I'm actually projecting my voice and I have energy and inflection to what I'm talking about. You know, like I feel like the way that I speak, and I can always improve. I always have room to grow, but like compared to the quartering or the vast majority of right-wing content creators, I feel like I'm way more entertaining in the way that I speak and present myself. But the barrier of entry is lower on the right.
It's a reality show. I mean, I don't even understand exactly what this is about. I mean, as a sample of the content, they brought in Chris, also known as Airsoft Fatty, to teach a self-defense course, which is hilarious and entertaining. The chat.
So, I'm assuming that from this point, it's just going to be the quartering defending this this reality show, but there's nothing about there's no evidence to suggest the reality show is why Sam Hyde lost his services with Stripe. The more likely scenario is the fact that he's a Nazi. Like the quartering even brought up the donation, but just laughed it off as a joke or shrugged it off as a joke. But the dude's a Nazi. I don't know what else to say. I don't think he got banned because of this. God, the dick riding for this guy is out of this world. It really, really is. I'll give an example. Not all the content I consume, obviously, is left-wing political content. Most of the content that I consume is actually apolitical, just entertainment content, right? And I listen to some podcasts, and my favorite podcast, is at least as far as the entertainment value and the comedy goes, is the PKA podcast, Painkiller Already. Though unfortunately, especially recently, they've gotten a lot chuddier. They've gotten a bit chuddier with their politics. It doesn't really seem like their hearts are in the wrong place, at least most of them. But their politics and their takes have gotten cringier lately because you can tell they just kind of follow the flow of the internet, right? And they recently had Sam Hyde on the podcast, and it was just embarrassing to watch these three podcast guys that are all in their 30s and one of them in his 50s literally just talk to this guy like he's a hot girl they have a crush on. That's how they were talking to him. And it was so transparent. They were so starstruck and it was like they were speaking to the Messiah. It was embarrassing. It was so cringy. You literally cannot escape the amount of dick riding people do for this guy. It's wild.